Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Our topic for today is simplification of fraction, and the order of operation we'll be working with is BODMAS. This order of operation tells us which arithmetic sign we are to use first before another. BODMAS is an acronym that represents the following. Letter B, which stands for bracket, has the symbol this or this. Letter O, which stands for order, can actually come as an exponent or of. Letter D, which is division, this is the symbol. Letter M, multiplication, will have this. Letter A, which is addition, will have this. And letter S, which is subtraction, will have this. After knowing what each acronym represents, now let's know how to work with this BODMAS. Which sign comes first? With the arrangement, this is how it comes. The first thing we're going to take note of is bracket. Whenever we're solving fraction, bracket comes first. After bracket, we'll have the order, which actually represents exponent or of. Whenever we see of means we should multiply. But whenever we see exponent can actually be x raised to power 2 or square root of x. So exponent can actually come in form of power or a root. So the next sign, division or multiplication, works together. Division and multiplication works together. It means in a question, if you see division first, you actually divide first before you multiply. And if you see multiplication first, you multiply before you divide. So they work together. That means from left to right or right to left. The same thing also applies to addition and subtraction. So in a question, if you see addition first, you add before you subtract. But if you see subtraction first, you subtract before you add. Now let's move to the question we'll have in this video. Solution. For number 1, we'll have simplify 6 whole number 1 over 5 minus 2 whole number 3 over 4 plus 1 whole number 1 over 6. So the first thing we're going to do is to change every mixed fraction to improper fraction. 6 times 5 is 30. 30 plus 1 will have 31 over 5. Minus 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 will have 11 over 4. Plus 6 times 1 is 6 plus 1, which is 7 over 6. Now let's take note of the sign in this question. We are given minus and plus. So let's bring back the acronym BODMAS. So since the question has minus and plus, this is where we'll have minus and plus. And the rule of addition and subtraction says whichsoever sign comes first, you use it first. So since we'll have subtraction first, we'll actually bring it from the left to the right. So we'll subtract first before we'll add. Now looking at the denominators of this question, we'll see that they are unlike terms, like they have different numbers. So we'll have to make them have a common denominator. And how do we get this? We actually need to look for the LCM. So after getting the LCM, we'll change every fraction here to the equivalent fraction so that we'll be able to subtract and add with common denominators. Now, LCM of 5, 4, and 6 is 60. Now, we're going to make this LCM the new denominators. So, all over 60. So, 60 divided by 5 is 12. 12 times 31 is 372 minus 60 divided by 4 is 15. 15 times 11 will have 165 plus 60 divided by 6 is 10. 10 times 7 will have 70. So from the rule of BODMAS, remember, since subtraction came first before the addition, we'll have to subtract these two numbers before we can add 70. Now, still all over 60. 372 minus 165 is 207 plus 70, which is what we have here, plus 70. Now, 207 plus 70 gives us 277 all over 60. This is our answer. But looking at this answer, you see it is an improper fraction. So we have to change it back to how the question came, which is a mixed fraction. Now, how many 60 can we get in 277? We'll actually get 4. So this is 4 whole number 37 over 60. This is our answer for number 1. Now let's move to number 2. It says simplify. Number 2 says simplify in a bracket 1 whole number 5 over 8 plus 1 whole number 3 over 5, close the bracket, divided by 5 whole number 3 over 8. Just like we know, the first thing we have to do is to convert. Now 8 times 1 is 8 plus 5, 13 over 8. So remember your bracket, 13 over 8 plus 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3, which is 8 over 5, close the bracket, divided by 8 times 5 is 40, 40 plus 3 will have 43 over 8. Let's bring back the order of operation we're working with, BODMAS. So in BODMAS, the first thing we have to do is bracket. And if you look at our question here, we'll have bracket. So we have to do the task given to us in the bracket before we can divide 43 over 8. Now, so looking at the denominators for the fraction in the bracket, they are unlike 10. So what's the first thing to do? We have to look for the LCM. So the LCM of 8 and 5 is 40. So all over 40, remember to put your bracket because that's the first thing we're doing. Now 40 divided by 8, we'll have 5. 5 times 13 gives us 65 plus 40 divided by 5, we'll have 8. 8 times 8, which is 64. Now divided by 43 over 8. So now we're going to drop the bracket. 65 plus 64 is 129 all over 40 divided by 43 over 8. So now we can focus on this division part. So moving to the division, we have 129 over 40. This division sign we have to change to multiplication because whenever we are dividing by a fraction, we'll have to change the sign to multiplication and get the reciprocal of this fraction. So meaning 43, which is the numerator, comes down, it becomes the denominator, and 8, which is the denominator here, goes up and become a numerator. So since we have 43 over 8, the reciprocal is 8 over 43. So now we'll have to break this down by cancelling out what is common so we can get the final answer. 8 here 1, 8 in 40 will have 5, and 43 here 1. 43 in 129 will get 3. So we are left with 3 times 1 over 5 times 1. Our final answer is 3 over 5. Question number 3. For question number 3, we'll have 2 whole number 1 over 2 plus 3 whole number 3 over 4 all over 2 whole number 1 over 6 minus 1 whole number 1 over 3. You know the first step, which is to convert every mixed fraction to improper fraction. Now, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 will have 5 over 2 plus 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 will have 15 over 4 all over 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 1 will have 13 over 6 minus 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, which is 4 over 3. So looking at this kind of question, we notice that at the numerator we have a fraction, at the denominator we also have a fraction. So what we're going to do this long divided by, we're going to change this to the division sign and change how this question came. So this becomes 5 over 2 plus 15 over 4. Now this divided by this long over becomes divided. We are going to use the sign. Now 13 over 6 minus 4 over 3. So what we are going to do, we are going to put the numerator and the denominator in separate brackets. So for numerator, that will have 5 over 2 plus 15 over 4. It will be in a bracket. And the denominator, which is 13 over 6 minus 4 over 3, will also be in a bracket. So this is we changing the way the question came in, and we are going to get the same answer. Now let's bring back the acronym to know which sign we are going to be working with first. So we'll have brackets. So we have two separate brackets here. So we're going to be doing the brackets together. Then after the brackets, we'll move down to division. So now the first bracket, we have unlike denominators. So we have to look for the LCM. Even the second bracket, we have unlike denominators. We also have to look for the LCM. So the LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. LCM is 4. For the right hand side, the LCM of 6 and 3 is 6. So now we've gotten the LCM, it will give us the new denominator, which is 4, and the new denominator here will be 6. Remember to put them in brackets and join them by their division sign. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 times 5 gives us 10, plus 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times 15 will have 15. Now for the right hand side, 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 13 is 13. Minus 6 divided by 3, which is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. So 10 plus 15 will get 25 over 4 divided by 13 minus 8 gives us 5 over 6. So the rule of division, we have to change that sign to multiplication sign. So 25 over 4 times the reciprocal. 6 goes up, 5 comes down. So 6 over 5. Now we have 5 here, 1. 5 in 25 is 5. 2 here is 2. 2 in 6 gives us 3. So we are left with 5 times 3 over 2 times 1. 5 times 3 at the numerator is 15, all over 2 times 1 is 2. So the question came in a mixed fraction. We have to convert this improper fraction back to mixed fraction. So how many 2 can we see in 15? We can actually get 7. So remainder 1, which is 7 whole number, 1 over 2. Question number 4. Question number 4 says 4 whole number, 4 over 5, divided by 3 over 5 of 5 plus 4 over 5 times 3 over 10 minus 1 over 5. So we are asked to simplify 4 whole number, 4 over 5 divided by 3 over 5 of 5 plus 4 over 5 times 3 over 10 minus 1 over 5. So let's have our acronym here, BODMAS. Then after that, let's convert the only mixed fraction here. So 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 4 will have 24 over 5 divided by 3 over 5 of 5 plus 4 over 5 times 3 over 10 minus 1 over 5. We have a whole number in the midst of this fraction. We can actually also convert it to a fraction by actually adding over 1. So judging from what we have in our acronym, the first thing we're going to do here is order, which stands for what? Off. So since we have off here, we're going to do off first before we can actually look at other signs to work with. And for off, just like I said earlier, off stands for multiplication. So we have 24 over 5 divided by 3 over 5. Now the off will actually change to times 5 over 1 plus 4 over 5 times 3 over 10 minus 1 over 5. So working with the off first, 5 here, 1, 5 and 5, we have 1. So the next thing is 24 over 5 divided by 3. Now move here, plus 4 over 5 times 3 over 10 minus 1 over 5. So let's proceed to the next thing. We're going to change 3 to a fraction so that it will be like others. Now going to our acronym, the next thing we have to do here is to focus on the division and multiplication. So division actually came first. We'll divide, then after dividing, we'll go to multiplication. Now we have 24 over 5. Remember what we said about the division sign? We'll have to look for the reciprocal of 3 over 1. So, and change the sign of division to multiplication. So we'll have times 3 over 1 becomes 1 over 3. Then we'll write our plus 4 over 5 times 3 over 10 minus 1 over 5. So 3 here, 1. 3 in 24 gives us 8. So 8 times 1 will have 8 over 5. So plus 4 over 5 times 3 over 10 minus 1 over 5. So after doing the division, the next sign we're going to work with is the multiplication. So let's simplify the part of multiplication. So we have 8 over 5 plus 4 over 5 times 3 over 10 minus 1 over 5. So 2 in 4 will have 2. 2 in 10 will have 5. So we'll be left with 8 over 5 plus 2 times 3 is 6 over 5 times 5 will have 25 minus 1 over 5. So the last thing we have here is plus and minus, which is the last part of our acronyms, and you know plus and minus actually work together. So since we'll have addition first before the subtraction, we'll be adding first before we subtract. Now we'll have different denominators. We have to look for the LCM of 5, 25 and 5. So the LCM of 5, 25 and 5 is 25. Now we'll have a new denominator, 25. 25 divided by 5 will have 5. 5 times 8 will have 40 plus 25 divided by 25 is 1. 1 times 6 is 6 minus 25 divided by 5 is 5. 5 times 1 will have 5. So this is equal to all over 25. 40 plus 6 gives us 46. So 46 minus 5 is what we are left with. Now 46 minus 5 gives us 41 all over 25. So this is actually an improper fraction. We have to convert it to a mixed fraction. So how many 25 can we get in 41? We get only 1. So our answer is 1 whole number, 16 over 25. So this is the answer for question number 4. So now we've been able to answer all the questions in this video. If you have any question in simplification of fraction or any other topic related to fraction, you should drop it at the comment section. I'll be attending to that. Thank you very much for joining us in today's class. See you in my next class. Bye.